Jan 2025, paper 2. Question 1. So, using our calculator, we want to get this exact value. Now, again, you could use calculator, plug it in, or we could do the manual approach where, we're using BODMAS. Obviously, I will look at dividing before anything else within the brackets, right? So you're working on the brackets first, and within the brackets, we will divide. So, when you divide by a fraction, you flip and multiply. So be what? 5 on 12 by 9 on 1. And this 5 on 12 by 9 on 1, 5 by 9 is 45, 12 by 1 is 12. And we add the 1 8 to it. We know that LCM of 8 and 12, we could work it through, or we could just simplify this or reduce this, where I could say 3 into 45, 15, 3 into 12, 4, and you have an easier LCM to work out. LCM of 8 and 4 is 8. So, 8 into 8, 1 by 1 is 1. 4 into 8 is what? 2, and 2 by 15 is 30. When you add this, you get 31 on 8. After that, we multiply it by 2/3. So 2/3 by 31 on 8, 2 by 31 is 62. 3 by 8 is 24. And this could reduce 2 into 62 is 31. And 2 into 24 is 12. So again, you can use a calculator, get the exact answer as well. Just remember of mean multiply, okay? Part 2, we have 314.2 minus 26,082 divided by 52,164, giving the answer in standard form. Using a calculator, you'll get 313.7, and putting it into standard form, you put the point between the first and second digit, so it'll be 3.137, but normally we give our answers to 2 decimal place. So if I put the point between 3 and 1, looking at the second decimal, which would be 3, the third decimal is 7. 7 is more than 5, so you add 1 to the 3 to make it 4. So it'll be 3.14, and you have to move the point, 2 places to your right to get back to here. So you multiply by 10 to the power 2, where 2 again will signify the amount of places you have to move this point to reach where it was initially, which will be 2 places to your right to get to here. So Jim packed several cases of fruit juice for sale. Each case contained 24 boxes of juice in 3 different varieties: apple, orange, and pineapple. Okay, in the ratio 2 to 5 to 1 respectively. How many boxes of pineapple juice were packed in each case? So the pineapple would represent the ratio value of 1. And we know there are how much parts in all. 2 add 5 add 1 is 8 parts. So the amount of boxes of pineapple juice will be 1 over 8 by a total of 24. That'll give you 3 boxes. So even though there's an error down below, at least we're still able to get a little understanding of ratio in this session. Going into question 2, and as you will know, normally question 2 will be algebra. Say factorize each of the following algebraic expression: x squared minus 49. We know this follows that difference of 2 squares approach, where if you factorize, you get 2 sets of brackets, 2 sets of double brackets with the square root of each term inside. One will have plus, the other will have minus, or vice versa. They really matter. So square root of x is x. So you put x in both sets of brackets. Square root of 49 is 7. So you put 7 in both sets of brackets. In one case you have minus, the other plus, or the next way around, it really don't matter. With x squared plus 2x minus 35, you want to factorize. Immediately you can recognize that is a quadratic expression. And one way of factorizing it is using the AC rule, where we identify a, b, and c. As you will know, a is the value in front of x squared, which is 1. B is the value in front of x, which is 2. C is your constant, that will be minus 35. Please do not forget your minus sign. Step 2 is where we determine AC. And AC is what? 1 by minus 35 to give you minus 35. And, we have B with it. which is 2, and you want two numbers that when you multiply, you will get AC, and when you add the same two numbers, you get B. Now 7 by minus 5 will give you minus 35, and 7 add minus 5 will give you 2. So what we do is split the middle term of 2x into those two numbers containing x, of course. So you split up this 2x into what? 7x and minus 5x. So essentially what you have will be x squared plus 7x minus 5x minus 35. With x squared plus 7x, you can see x is common. We pull that out. As you will know, x into x squared is x. And when you pull out x, we mean with 7 in this set of brackets. With this side, you can pull out minus 5. We mean with x, and minus 5 into minus 35. Minus into minus is a plus. 5 into 35 is 7. And you can see what in the brackets match. Both of them have x plus 7, which is a good sign. Shows that we are doing the correct thing. And we bring down the x plus 7, and what we mean is x minus 5 on the outside, which we put together in brackets. So it'll be x plus 7 by x minus 5. So using this to say, hence simplify this expression. And you know, we did factorize x squared minus 49 earlier to be x minus 7 by x plus 7, which you could see here. And we did factorize this below to get x plus 7 by x minus 5. And we cancel out the x plus 7, top and bottom, to mean with x minus 7 over x minus 5. Part B, so rearrange the formula shown below to make m the subject. S equal k minus m squared. What do we do? Well, we carry the minus m squared on your left side and carry the s on your right. You'll get m squared equal k minus s. The opposite of square is square root. I couldn't really get a sign, but you know it'll be square root of what? K minus s. You might be thinking, well, so this question and done yet? No, it's going a little way more. Part C. Lisa has $56 to buy a total of no more than 70 red balloons and green balloons for her birthday. And next thing too, she buys more green balloons than red balloons, but must buy at least 15 red balloons. Each red balloon costs 75 cents and each green balloon costs 50 cents. All right. Let x and y represent the number of red balloons and the number of green balloons respectively. Write two inequalities in x and y other than x more than 0 and y more than 0. Okay, fine. To represent the information above. We do know that the total amount of green and red balloons or red and green balloons is 70. To kind of cross that, so you know, x plus y. Okay, that's your red plus green balloons will be less than or equal to 70. I'm sorry that the equal part underneath a little bit off. I could maybe try and do that again. Yeah, it's proving to be a little difficult. Let me try that one more time. Yeah, I think that'll look a little better. And with this one, we know that you must buy at least 15 red balloons. So x must be at least 15, as more than or equal to 15. Right. Going down, you say, given a y is inversely proportional, and I feel like something missing from here, but anyway. Let me just check something out. Okay. Given a y is inversely proportional to x minus 2 and x equal to 11 when y is 9, find the value of y when x is 29. Now, inverse proportional relationship is shown by a constant of proportionality that goes above the function. So you know y would be equal to k over x minus 2. Okay. Again, if y increases, it means that x minus 2 decreases. Now they say when x is 11, y is 9. That will allow us to figure out what k is, which is your constant of proportionality. And maybe I could make a little note for that in a bit. All right. So what do we have? We will have y, which is 9. 9 equal to k over 11 minus 2. That'd be k equal to, 9 equal to k over 9. And I think I could do some fine tuning just to make sure you all get it. So what we're gonna have is where 9 equal k over 9, carry this 9 across, opposite divide is multiply. What's 9 by 9? 81. So, well, y are we equal to? K over x minus 2. We now know k is 81, so it's 81 over x minus 2. Now, the said find the value of y when x is 29. So, when x is 29, what do we have? Y will be 81 over what? 29 minus 2. It's 81 over 27, which is 3. I just want to make a quick note here that k is your constant proportionality. Good. All right, we're done with question 2. Question 3. Diagram below shows a regular hexagon, LMNOPQ, whose side is 8 cm. Okay. Show that the value of angle PQL is 120. PQL, that's this angle. Yeah. We want to show that is 120. Call it x for now if you want. So what's the sum of the internal angles in a polygon? You know, it's n minus 2 by 180. In this case, it's a hexagon, so there's 6 sides. So n is 6. All right, n is 6. So it'll be 6 minus 2 by 180. That's 720 degrees. So what will be each angle? Each angle will be 720 divided by 6 to get you 120 degrees. When I say each angle, each internal angle. Okay, each internal angle. 120 degrees. So, you know, PQL, which is x, is 120. You're seeing? Part 2, vertices of a rectangle, WXYZ touches the sides PQ. Yeah, here is Q, by the way, yeah? PQ, QL, yeah, MN and NO, okay. Of the hexagon, ZY and WX are parallel. ZY and WX are parallel to LM and PO, you can see by use of the arrows. Calculate the value of the angle LWX. LWX, that's Y in other words. What I did is draw this line going across, connecting Q to N. And, you know, half of 120, remember we got this as 120, right? Half of 120 is 60. And Y is equal to 60 because that's what corresponding angles. And we all know corresponding angles are equal. So LWX is 60 degrees. I'm just going to read. Field sports club is in the shape of quadrilateral RSTU. So it's a field RSTU. Lamppost is to be erected on the field at a point marked L so that the floodlights can be installed. Okay. Point L should be located in such a way that L lies on the perpendicular bisector of the line UR, and angle LST is 30 degrees. So you want to use rule and compass to find the position of L. First thing we do is find the perpendicular bisector of UR. As you will know, you put your compass pointed in at U, scribe an arc above and below, keeping the same width of the compass, put your pointed end at R, scribe an arc above and below, right? And draw a line connecting the two intersections of the arcs. You'll get a 90 degrees. So you just draw or extend the line. The said LST is 30 degrees. So what we need to do is construct a 30 degrees. And we all know how to do that. Put your pointed end of the compass at S. Scribe an arc to cut TS. Put your pointed end of the compass now here. Keeping the same width of the compass. Scribe an arc to cut the first arc. Then put your pointed end of your compass where the both arcs intersect. Scribe a third arc. All right. So you scribe a third arc. Okay. And this is the thing. When you get 60 degree, because this will make a 60, you want to bisect it to get a 30. When you put it pointed in here and you scribe your first arc, all right, you put back your pointed end the compass here and scribe the fourth arc, and where they intersect will be your 30. And you draw a line from there straight to S. And what you do, you extend this perpendicular bisector until it intersects the 30 degree line, and where they meet, that'll be your position of L. Question 4, line segment drawing C and D, calculate midpoint. You know that minus 5, say be x1, y1, and 7, 2, x2, y2. Midpoint, as you know, is x1 plus x2 on 2, y1 plus y2 on 2. So x1 plus x2 will be what? It'll be minus 5, add 7 all over 2, y1 add y2 will be what? 6, add 2 over 2. This will give me 2 on 2 is 1. This will be 8 on 2, which is 4. Now, actually, the gradient of line segment CD, we all know gradient M, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 minus y1 will be 2 minus 6 divided by, what's x2 minus x1? That will be 7 minus 5. This will give me minus 4. Minus 1 minus is a plus. 7 add 5 is 12. Minus 4 on 12 is minus a third. Part C, determine equation of the perpendicular bisector CD. Well, we do know the midpoint of CD as 1, 4. And we can let that point be your new x1, y1. Because that will be the point found on your perpendicular bisector. Equation of your bisector is y minus y1 equal m into x minus x1. Because this is minus a third, your gradient of your perpendicular bisector will be the negative reciprocal, and I can make a quick note of that. So it'll be 3 into what? X minus x1, which is x minus 1, because 1 is x1. So you get y minus 4 equal what? 3x minus what? 3? Because 3 by 1 is 3. Carry the minus 4 across. You get y equal what? 3x minus 3 add 4. Y equal 3x add 1. Now the line AB is parallel to CD and passes through the point 01. Write down the equation of the line AB. Because AB is parallel to CD, they will have similar gradients. And we know the gradient of CD was minus a third. So the gradient of AB is also minus a third. So y equal mx plus c. Reason why you could use that here, because you have your y-intercept. This is your y-intercept. That's your 1. that we're using. So y equal to what? Minus a third of x or minus x on 3 plus c is 1. Question 5. We're going to reach halfway through the paper now. Table below shows the marks out of 10 and 40 students in a class gained on an essay writing test. Wow, okay. So the number of students, marks out of 10. Wow. Calculate student mean score. So what I did is I get fx column, which is f by x, that's 3 by 4, 4 by 3 get 12, 6 by 9, 54, 7 8s are 56, 8 by 7, 56, 9 8s are 72, 5 by 10 or 10 by 5, 50. I then add it up, so I get sigma fx or the sum of fx values. When I add all these values, I get 300. And the mean would be sigma fx over sigma f, which is your 300 over your total amount of students of 40 to give you 7.5 marks. That's your mean score. Part 2, they want the modal mark. They want to occur the most. Most students got what? 6. Median mark, we use the median position, n plus 1 on 2. So 40 students, 40 plus 1 on 2, that's 41 to 20.5 position. So we add, coming down, 3 add 9 is 12, 12 add 8 is 20, 20.5 person, or 21st person will be in here, which corresponds to what? 8 marks. So 8 marks would be your median mark. Ooh. Part 3. Using the information in the table below, pie chart is constructed to represent the marks being gained. Okay. Calculate the angle for the sector representing the interval mark between 5 and 6. Alright, you take the 9 and you put it over your total, which is 40 students. Again, if you add this up, you'll get 40. So 9 over 40 by 360 degrees, you'll get 81 degrees. Part B, diagram below shows two fair six-sided dice P and Q. The 6 numbers on die P are as follows. You can see 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. You can see the 6 numbers on die Q are 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. And when a die is rolled, the score is the number on the top face. So die P is rolled once. What's the probability that the score is not 2? So with die P, if it's not 2, that means it's every other number but 2. Probability of getting a score that is not 2 be 5 out of 6, because 5 numbers out of the 6 numbers are not 2, right? As you know, probability is the number possible or the number of chances the event could occur divided by total possible number of outcomes. So it'd be 5 over 6, okay, which cannot reduce. So it says as it is. Die Q is rolled twice. What's the probability that the score is 1 both times? With Q, the probability again 1 is what? 3 out of 6. And since it's twice, you multiply 3 on 6 by 3 on 6 to get a quarter. Because 9 on 36 is a quarter when you reduce. Part 3, die Q is rolled 72 times. Calculate and estimate the number of times the score is 3. Okay, well, the probability of getting 3 first thing with die Q will be 1 out of 6 times. So it's 1 out of 6. And you multiply that by 72 to get you 12 times person can get a score of 3 out of 72 tries. Okay. Part 4, each die is rolled once. Probability scores is recorded. Sample space diagram is shown below. Okay, all the possible values, I guess, for die Q and P. Find the probability that the probability scores is 2 or 3. 2 or 3. I mean, all the number 2s or 3s. And if you check them up, you get what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of how much? 36 in all, right? 6 by 6, 36. So 12, 36 is a third. So probability again scores 2 or 3. There's a third. So you're finally done with that question. It's a little lengthy. We're going on to question 6. Piece of wire 61 cm long, bent to form a sector. I'll show you the diagram below. The sector of the circle OPQ has center O, radius 18 cm. Show that the value of x is approximately 80 degrees. Okay. Well, we know that the length of piece of is 61, so that's the perimeter of the shape. Okay, what will be the arc length? It'll be 61 minus 18 twice, right? Got 18 on both sides. So 61 minus 18 twice, get 25 cm. And we know that the formula for arc length is the angle over 360 by 2 pi r. So it'll be x over 360 by 2 by pi, which is 22.7, by your r, which is 18. So it'll be x 136 by, if you multiply this out, you get 792 over 7. Carry it across, opposite multiplies, divide. You get 25 divided by 792 and 7. You get 175 on 792 equal to x on 360. Carry 360 across to multiply, and you'll get an answer of 79.5 degrees, so 1 decimal place. So the nearest whole number, if you approximate, be 80 degrees. So calculate the area enclosed by the wire. Area of a sector is the angle over 360 by pi r squared. We did get the angle x to be what? 80 on 360 by 22 on 7 by 18 by 18, and get 226.29 cm squared to 2 decimal places. Again, the reason why I use 80 because it said to show it's approximately 80. That's the value we'll be using here. So a cylindrical block of cheese has a radius of 12 cm, height of 8 cm. Cheese is divided equal slices. Uniform cross section of the slice of the cheese is a sector whose angle is 18 degrees, shown below. Calculate the length of the arc AB. Length of arc AB. Again, it's the angle over 360 by 2 pi r. So it's 18 over 360 by 2 by 22 and 7 by 12. And you get 3.77 centimeters to 2 decimal places. Determine the area of the curved surface ABCD. So the area of the curved surface, that's this part, will be the arc length by a height of 8, right? What's the arc length? 3.77 by 8, correct? And you get 30.17 cm squared. So given that the area OAB is 22.6 cm squared, calculate the volume of the entire block of cheese. So if the area of OAB, that's this on top, is 22.6, so get the volume just multiplied by your height of 8. So it's 22.6 by 8 to get 180.8 cm cube. Remember, it's volume. So we realize this question a little lengthy, but we have to keep pressing. We're going on to number 7. Sequence of patterns is made of dots and lines, unit length. Some of these lines form squares. The first 3 diagrams in the sequence are shown below. Wow, okay. We want diagram 4. We just add another box with the dot. 3 more strokes. 2 more dots, yeah. So you synchronize. Cool. So yeah, number of dots, the number of unit lines to form each diagram L. To form that pattern. Values of D and L for the first 3 diagrams are written in the table below. Okay. Study the pattern numbers. You want to complete the table. So let's get into it, right? And you can see what number of dots you're adding 3 every time. So with the fourth diagram, you add 3 to 11, you get 14. But here you're adding what, 7 every time. So with this diagram, you add 7 to 22, you get 29. So to give us the number of dots, they want to figure out the diagram number for it. Now, if you notice something, if you multiply 4 by 3, you get 12, and 12 add 2 will get you 14. If I multiply 3 by 3, I get 9, and 9 add 2 is 11. Multiply 2 by 3, you get 6, and 6 add 2 is 8. And the list goes on. So normally what we realize we're doing here, you multiply the diagram number by 3, and then add 2, and you will get your number of dots. But if you want to go backwards, you have to do the reverse. So instead of multiplying by 3 and adding 2, you will have to subtract 2 and then divide by 3 last. Okay? So I'm saying again, you're multiplying by 3 here and then you're adding 2, you get your number of dots. So if you're going backwards, you have to do the opposite and the reverse operation order as well. You subtract 2 first and then divide by 3. So it's 59 minus 2 is 57. 57 divided by 3, you get 19. Now you have 19. How do we work out the number of lines? Well, let's look at the patterns between diagram numbers and number of lines. 4 by 7 is 28, and 28 add 1 is 29. 4 by 3 is 7 by 3 is 21. 21 add 1 is 22. 7 by 2 is 14. 14 add 1 is 15. 7 by 1 is 1. Add 1 is 8. So we multiply 19 by 7 to get what? 133, and you add 1 to get 134. So to get this here given n, it'll be 7 by n, like what we had here, add 1. 7n plus 1. To get this one, what we said, you multiply by 3 and you add 2, right? Cool. So one of the diagrams in the sequence are 148 lines. Calculate number of dots in this diagram. So there's your number of lines column. So in other words, 7n plus 1 is 148. And you want to work out n. The 148 minus 1 is 147. And you divide by 7, you get 21. 21 is the diagram number. And to get number of dots, it'll be what? 3n plus 2. So it's 3 by n. What n is? 22. Yeah? Three by 21, and then you add 2 to it, following with this. So it's 3 by 21, and that's 63. 63 add 2 is 65. Hey, we in section 2, right? Cool. So we're going into function. So, you know, f of x, 1 plus 3x on x minus 1, g of x, find minus x. We'll calculate the value of f of minus 2. Just replacing x with minus 2. So it'll be 1 plus 3 by minus 2. All divided by what? Minus 2 minus 1. This will give me what? 1 minus 6 is minus 5. Divided by minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. Minus 5 divided by minus 3 will give you positive 513. Part 2. Determine a simplified expression for fg of x. Again, with composite functions, you're reading from right to left. You let g of x be what? Big X. So it'll be what? F of big X, which will be 1 plus 3 by big X over what? Big X minus 1. Then we replace the big X with g of x, which will be 1 plus 3 by 5 minus x divided by 5 minus x minus 1. This will be what? 1 add what? 5 3s are 15 minus what? 3x. All divided by this one. 5 minus 1 is what? 4 minus x. This will be 16 minus 3x over 4 minus x. So the derive expression in terms of x for the inverse function f inverse of x. Now you notice it's f of x, so you want to get the inverse. So what we're going to do is let y, or let f of x be y. So you get y equal 1 plus 3x over x minus 1. Then you switch the positions of x and y. Where you have y, you make it x, and where you have x, you make it y prime to show the inverse of y. So you get x equal what? 1 plus 3 by y prime divided by y prime minus 1. And I mean y prime is subject. So you carry the y prime minus 1 across, opposite divide is what? Multiply. So it'll be x by y prime minus 1 equal 1 plus 3y prime. And then after that, we expand out. X by y prime is xy prime minus x by 1 is x. And that's equal to what? 1 plus 3y prime. Then we carry the 3y prime across. This arrow is supposed to really be below. And I think that could be a little bit confusing right now. All right, so I do carry the 3y prime across. This is what I wanted to show. And I carry minus x on this side. All right, so be xy prime minus 3y prime equal 1 add x, as in it become plus x. So you pull out y prime, and you mean with what? X minus 3 equal 1 plus x. So what was y prime? It would be 1 plus x divided by x minus 3. Sorry how this is being blocked here. It's a little hard to, Just know that the y prime is 1 plus x divided by what? X minus 3. Part B, velocity time graph, describes the journey of a car over a period of 70 seconds. Journeys represent 5 states labeled 1 to 5. You could see it. Acceleration, constant velocity, acceleration again, constant velocity, and then deceleration. So complete the following statement. During stage 4, car is traveling at what? That'd be what? 45, right? Meters per second. Acceleration of what? Acceleration with constant velocity is 0 meters per second squared. Determine maximum acceleration in the car during the 70 seconds. Okay. Maximum acceleration being stage 3 because it is a steeper gradient as compared to stage 1. So you're going to get the gradient of this line, and that will give you your acceleration. And what's the formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what's x1 and y1? So x1, y1, I choose 25 with 20. That's this point here. And x2, y2, 35, 45. That's this. So that's here, 35 with what? 45. So I essentially picked this point and this point, okay? So again, this is what? 25 with 20. That is my x1, y1. And then 35 with 45, that's my x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 will be 45 minus 20, all divided by what's x2 minus x1, 35 minus 25. Get 25 over 10 to get 2.5 meters per second squared. Part 3. Calculate the distance traveled by the car during the first 25 seconds of its journey. Total distance for the first 25 seconds, that's up to here, will be the area under this graph, right? Area under the graph will be a total displacement. Okay, and that's the area of the trapezium, which is half a plus b by height. Again, a will come like the shorter side, that's what? 15 to 25, that's what? 10. All right, each block is 5, so that's 10 anyway. And down here, this is b, which is your base, that'll be what? 25. And your height is what? 20. So it's half of 10 at 25 by 20. So that's 35 by 20 is 700 by a half is 350 meters. So we're done with question 8. We're on to question 9 with geometry and trigonometry. And we have a circle theorem question. So you know diagram shows center O, points P, Q, L, N, line on the circumference, right? P, Q, L, and N. Ln equal NQ. All right, Ln equal NQ. So that's isosceles triangle we done form here already. Rm is a tangent to the circular L, okay. MLN is 63 degrees, that's this here. Explain why angle X and angle NQL are equal. So let's explain how X and NQL, that's A here, I call it A. How X and A are equal. Well, we know any two angles subtending from the same chord, the chord will be NL. And they both meet the circumference. And these two angles are what? Equal. They're equal to each other, right? So X and N equal. They come from the same chord, NL. And they both meet the circumference. So determine the value of each of the foreign angles, and you must give a reason. So angle X and the reason for it, which nice. Okay, angle X, I say X plus 27, 90 is 180. Okay. That's a bit much to explain, but I'll start off by saying, if we're looking at triangle PNL, this triangle here, PNL, this angle is 90 degrees because according to Taylor's theorem, that any angle meeting the circumference at like N here, subtending or coming from the diameter, that angle is always 90 degrees. So this is 90, okay? That's what this is saying. So this is 90. This angle, though, will be 90 minus 63. How? Because the angle between the diameter and tangent is 90. So this remaining angle will be what? 90 subtract 63, which is 27 degrees. So 27 add 90, add X will give me what? 180 degrees, because 180 degrees in a triangle. Okay? So when we have this, that'll be X add what? 117 is 180. Carry 117 across, subtract 180 minus 170 is 63 degrees. I explain all this as well another way. There's so many ways to explain this thing. And, you know, you all could read this on your own. There's just so many ways to do it. Angle Y. So, we were able to work out that X is equal to 63 degrees. And we were able to answer X and A are the same. Okay? If here is A, here is also A. Because this is what isosceles triangle. NQL is isosceles. So these two angles will be the same. A here and A also here. So they will be both equal to X, right? Because we said X is equal to A. So if X is 63, A is 63. So 63, add 63, add Y will give you 180 degrees in a triangle. So 126 add Y is 180. And Y will be 180 minus 126 to give 54 degrees. Part B, and you would think, wow, this question just keep on going, right? It's a lot. So, two ports E and G on level ground, 245 kilometers apart. Bearing of E from G is 302. Okay. Ship is anchored at F, some distance away from G, on a bearing of 228. Okay. Angle EFG is 52, which you could see here. EFG is 52. Okay, so on the diagram above, insert the angle 228, the bearing of F from G. Bearing of F from G, measure from north, right? You can see here, this angle here is what? 228. 228. Determine the value of angle FEG. FEG. That's X. Now, how do we work out X? Well, first thing I want to say is this. The bearing of E from G is 302, and you can see how I draw that here. And this bearing is what? 228. So what would be my angle inside here? It'll be 302, which is this. 302, subtract your 228, and that'll give you what? That'll give you 74. So here's 74. So 74 add 52 add X, it's 180 degrees. So 74 add 52, subtract from 180, get 54 degrees. That's what X is. Again, 180 degrees in a triangle, right? I think we know that. Say, calculate GF, the distance the ship is from port G. So you want GF, that's this distance. Remember, we know what X is now. X is what? 54 degrees. All right. Cool. So we could use what? Sine rule? I could say this distance over sine X is equal to 245 over sine 52. Yeah. So GF, which is this over sine 54, is equal to 245 over sine 52. Carry the sine X across. Opposite divides multiply. So it'll be what? 245 over sine 52 by sine X, which is 245 over sine 52 by sine 54. Calculator gave 251.53 kilometers. Okay. Part 3, indicate the point H on the line EF such that GH is the shortest distance from G to EF. So from G to EF, which is the shortest distance, a straight line. And we'll call this GH because what they said here is that GH is that distance. And indicate the point H, which we did. It said determine the distance GH. You want this distance. Now, you know, this will make 90 degrees with EF, right? So you have a right angle triangle. And you know what X is? X is what? 54. You don't know have the hypotenuse, 245, you could get GH. So I could say what? Sine 54 is opposite, which is GH, over your hypotenuse of 245. So GH would be what? 245 by sine 54. You have 198.21 kilometers. Yeah, 2 decimal place. And we on to the last question. Let's see what this is about, right? So the diagram below shows quadrilateral OLMN, in which O is the origin. Okay. So OL is 4y. Yeah. OM is 6z. Yeah. ON is 2x. Point A lies on LM. such that LA to AM is 1 to 2. So LA to AM is 1 part to 2 parts. You can see the 1 to 2. And the point B on MN is such that MB to BN is 2 to 1. So MB to BN is what? 2 to 1. Okay, I think we have that. Express in simplest form, MN in terms of X and Z. So MN come like what? MO add ON, right? When it all go to the origin, right? So it'll be MO add ON, which would be what? Minus 6Z, going in opposite direction, minus 6Z add 2X. Or 2X minus 6Z if you put the 2X in front. Define in terms of X and Y, simplest form for the expression Ln. Ln, again, you could go to the origin, it's LO add ON. Right? LO add ON. So that'll be what? Minus 4y add 2x. Okay, minus 4y add what? 2x. So 2x minus 4y. It says show that AB equals 2/3 of 2x minus 4y. So I did a whole explanation for this here, where to find AB. What is AB from what I did? I said AB is AM plus MB. AM plus MB. But then you had to work out AM. And then you had to work out MB. What is AM? AM will be what? 2 out of 3 parts. Because 2 out of 1 is 3. 2 out of 3 parts, or 2/3 of LM. Right? I'll go over that. AM will be what? 2 out of 3 parts, or 2/3 of LM. 2/3 of LM. And what is LM? We got LM. Or maybe we did not get LM. All right. LM is what? LO add OM. So that'll be what? Minus 4y add 6z. So it's 2/3 by minus 4y add 6z. And 2/3 by minus 4 is minus 8 on 3y. Plus 2/3 by 6 is 4z. So that's AM. We still have to work out MB. MB is what? 2/3, 2 out of 3 parts of MN. And what is MN? We did get MN, 2x minus 6z. So it's 2/3 by 2x minus 6z. Give me what? 4/3 x minus, what's 2/3 by 6? 4. So we know MB, and we know AM, and we could add them. Now, mind you, all of this is supposed to have arrows over it. Okay, it's supposed to have arrows over it. All right, I don't know, like this. But I think you all can understand it's going to be a little hard to do that. I'll just start off by showing you all it. Okay, so oh, I know I'm even making the arrows too well. Right, but each one should have the arrows in terms of the letters, right? Okay, so we want to calculate AB, right? So AB is what? AM add MB. We have AM minus 8 on 3y add 4z. Add what's MB? 4/3 x minus 4z. So we were minus 8 on 3y plus 4/3 x, because why? 4z minus 4z cancels out. And you can pull out the 2/3 from it. And you mean what? Minus 4x add 2x, right? And you can put the 2x in front, so 2/3 of what? 2x minus 4y. So that is exactly what we wanted to prove here, and we did it. The saying here, based on your results, state 2 geometric properties relating Ln to AB. Well, AB is 2/3 of Ln in length. Because 2x minus 4y is what? ln. The vector is 2/3 and the length will also be 2/3. Okay? So AB is 2/3 of ln in length. And they are both what? Parallel. They're both parallel. They do not intersect. Okay? They're both parallel to each other. Okay, so we're on the home stretch here. We go into matrices. So we want to determine the value of the unknowns for each. This will give you all of this. What can we say here? You can say 4 add x give you -3. Carry the 4 across, it'll be -3 minus 4, which is what? -7 for x. And also, we have going below -2 add 8 will get you y. -2 add 8 will get you y, which would be what? 6? 6 is y, right? That was easy. The multiplying, you want to work out what? A and C. So what I did was I multiplied the first row by the first column. So 5 by A is 5A. -3 by C minus 3C equal to what? -10. That's equation 1. And then what I did after that was I used the bottom row by the first column. So I say what? 2 by A add what? 3C will give me what? 17, right? And all we do is have to add both equations. 5A add 2A is 7A. -10 add 17 is 7. And you divide 7 by 7, you get 1 for A. And I substitute A as 1 into, let's say, equation 2. So I get 2 by 1 plus 3C is 17. So you get what? Where you get 3C as 17 minus 2. But 2 by 1 is 2. So 17 minus 2, you get what? 15. Divide 15 by 3 to get 5.